be careful about getting distracted by worldly sights, worldly foods, worldly thoughts. Worldly, meaning hanging out with people who think that there's separation. This satsang is about hanging out with people who are thinking everything is God. There's an opposite word called dusang. Interesting. Dusang. Dusang means hanging out with people who gossip and talk about others and think about separation, which is most conversations. Most conversations are dusang. So it'd be nice, I've often said this, to have a friend that you can sit with and talk about divine topics. If you don't, get a book. Get a book that contemplates on that. There's a book club going on. What's the name of the book?
10 Symptoms of Enlightenment.
10 Symptoms of Enlightenment. I highly recommend it.
Yeah.
I was reading a little bit on his desk over there. 10 Symptoms of Enlightenment. So read a book if you can't find a friend that was willing to talk to you about God. Maybe they're just not, maybe that's just too deep for them. I once went to a party in Virginia and started talking to a guy at that party and about the nature of the universe, and he looks at me, he goes, "Dude, man, why are you going so deep?" And I had forgotten, like, oh my gosh, I'm at a party. This is a normal party. I have to kind of like relate to where people are. Oh, well, how's the weather going? Like something like that. But in my mind, I'm thinking the weather comes from God too. This house that we're in comes from God. The air that we're breathing comes from God. Who's breathing this body? Well, God's breathing this body. So it's like, everything can come from that frame of mind. That's how you get closer to Jesus. Jesus is trying to shake people up to awaken. But the beautiful thing is like, it's a living, breathing being that comes down onto earth. Oh my gosh. It brings me to tears to think about that the mercy of the divine presence, the Almighty, would send down a soul, a great soul, into a body to go through tremendous suffering just to share the most profound teachings in the entire universe. That's why we worship Jesus Christ, because it doesn't come along all the time. It doesn't come along all the time. And it's such a strong catalyzing agent. Why do you think I made such a strong effort to go out, hang out with saints? And have been, just sitting in their energy, the physical manifestation of the saints, and trying to glean their energy. Because I knew my mind wasn't going to be strong enough to overcome my own mind. I'm at the consciousness that I'm at. I need an uplifting agent. So I ended up ultimately finding Swami Purna, a living, enlightened being, living in the flesh, overwhelming being in his presence, in his energy. So when he said, "Brian, renounce, leave the world, and go and share these gatherings," I simply said, "Yes, of course, I'm happy to." And I left an extremely comfortable life, running a financial planning firm, in order to do what he said. So, like Jesus said to the fishermen, "Come follow me and I will make you fishers of men." Fishers of men means awaken people's souls. Stop sleeping in the three-dimensional world. Wake up to your divinity. Who are you? What are you? Where did you come from? What's your source?